Leo Walsh was pinned against the door of his dingy apartment, his Aunt Carol's voice drilling into his skull. Suddenly, a synthesized chime echoed in his head. The Slacker's fortune system has been activated. Don't you dare play dead with me, you little punk. His aunt's spittle sprayed his face. Your father's debts fall on you. If you don't get out of here so I can sell this dump today, I'll smash that piece of crap computer of yours. Leo had just lost his job. He had exactly $3.50 to his name. The pressure was so intense, he felt like slamming his head against the wall. Then, another notification popped up at his mind's eye. Newbie mission. Give her a piece of your mind. Reward. $100,000 cash. His eyes lit up. He shot to his feet. The 50 grand my dad borrowed from you? He paid you back 80 with interest. And now you're here to shake me down? Have you no shame? Aunt Carol froze, stunned. Leo pressed his advantage. Keep this up, and I'm calling the cops. Let's see what they think about your little loan sharking operation. Ping. Mission complete. $100,000 has been deposited to your account. Right on cue, his phone buzzed with a text alert from his bank. His aunt's face turned purple. You'll regret this, she shrieked, slamming the door on her way out. Leo stared at the bank notification on his phone, a slow grin spreading across his face. The system's synthesized voice chimed in again, sounding smug. Nice one, host. Ready for an advanced mission? What is it? Go to the corner store, buy a Coke, and tell the owner, this one's on me. Reward. Master-level combat skills. Leo raised an eyebrow. He headed downstairs, bought the soda, and was just turning to leave when 3 guys with cheap-dye jobs blocked his path. Hey kid, the leader sneered. We saw that scene with your aunt. How about you pay us a little protection fee? Leo shrugged, his hands already itching from the new mission. No fee, but you want a Coke. The thug threw a punch. Leo's body moved before his brain could catch up. He sidestepped the blow, and in one fluid motion, brought the glass Coke bottle down on the guy's arm with a sickening crack. Ping. Combat skills integrating. He dispatched the other 2 in seconds. Dusting off his hands, he turned to the stunned store owner, holding up his wallet. Ma'am, he said with a nod, that Coke I bought? Put on my tab. Reward delivered. Host, for your next surprise, head to the Stardust Lounge tonight. Leo rubbed his chin. This system had potential. With a fresh 100 grand in his bank account, Leo whistled his way to the Stardust Lounge. He was stopped at the velvet rope by a bouncer in a ridiculously loud floral shirt, a cigarette dangling from his lips. You on the list, kid? The bouncer asked, looking him up and down. Nope, just here to hang out. Leo arched an eyebrow as the system pinged again. Side quest. Make the bouncer call you, sir. Reward. 1 pair of limited edition sneakers plus lifetime VIP membership to the Stardust Lounge. This was getting fun. Leo pulled out his phone and casually flashed his new bank balance. The 100,000. 00 glowed under the club's neon sign. The bouncer's eyes widened. Just as he was about to change his tune, a girl in a microskirt rushed over and grabbed his arm. Honey, don't waste your time on this loser. Let's go inside. Leo recognized her. It was his ex-girlfriend, Lily. Just last month, she was crying to him about not being able to make rent. Now, she was clinging to a guy who looked like he'd won a gas station lottery. Lily recognized him too, and a smirk curled her lips. Leo, what are you doing here? Trying to leech off the free Wi-Fi. The guy in the floral shirt, Rick, wrapped his arm around Lily's waist and blew a smoke ring in Leo's face. You heard her? Scram. Don't pollute the air. Leo didn't move. He just looked at the bouncer. Hey, can we upgrade that mission? The system replied instantly. Upgrade. Make this trashy couple apologize. Reward, a downtown condo. All right then. Leo's grin widened. He pointed at Rick's wrist. That Rolex fake? The crown's crooked. Then his eyes drifted to Lily's purse. And that's a knockoff. You can tell by the oxidized hardware. Their faces went beet red. You're lying. Lily shrieked. This watch was 3 grand. The bag was 500. Oh. Leo opened his banking app. I'll transfer you 5 grand right now if you let me kick that watch across the street. Deal. Rick's hand trembled, dropping his cigarette. Leo turned to Lily. And I'll give you 3 grand to let me stomp on that bag. Enough to buy a real one. Lily's lips quivered, but no words came out. The bouncer, having seen the zeros on Leo's phone, suddenly snapped to attention. Sir, he said, his voice dripping with respect. Right this way, please. Ping. Double mission complete. Property deed has been transferred. Sneakers are waiting for you at the front desk. Leo clapped the bouncer on the shoulder. As he started to walk in, he heard Lily's voice behind him. Leo, did you hit the lottery? He glanced back, a wry smile on his face. None of your business. He walked away, leaving Lily and Rick frozen on the sidewalk like a pair of cheap mannequins. Inside the club, another notification popped up. Main quest. In a private room, sing an off-key version of I Will Always Love You and receive a standing ovation from everyone present. Reward. Perfect pitch plus $1 million in seed capital. Leo almost laughed out loud. He pushed open the nearest door and, wouldn't you know it, found a raucous party in full swing. Leading the charge was his old boss, Mr. Peterson, the man who'd fired him last week. He had his arm around his secretary, forcing another drink on her. Peterson saw Leo and blinked. You're that guy I fired. What are you doing here, begging for scraps? Scraps. Leo walked straight to the karaoke machine, queued up the Whitney Houston classic, and grabbed the mic. He started to howl, his voice cracking and veering so far off-key it was a crime against music. Peterson roared with laughter, slapping the table. This is awful. Security. Leo kept singing. While screeching a high note, he pulled out his phone and flashed the new property deed notification. Mr. Peterson, he said into the mic, his voice still wavering. I heard you were having some trouble with your mortgage payments. I just came into a condo downtown. Maybe I could sell it to you cheap. Peterson's laughter died in his throat. His secretary leaned over, saw the address on the screen, and gasped. Sir, that's in the new high-rise. Leo hit the song's final, screeching crescendo, then fell silent. The room was dead, quiet for 2 seconds before Peterson started clapping. A pained smile plastered on his face. Bravo! Such passion! Everyone else scrambled to join in, clapping so hard their hands must have stung. Ping. Mission complete. Capital has been transferred. Perfect pitch skill has been unlocked. Leo dropped the mic. Peterson scurried over, offering him a cigarette. Leo, my boy, I was wrong about you. How about you come back to the company? I'll make you vice president. Leo ignored the cigarette. I don't think you can afford my salary, sir. By the way, you still owe me 3 months of back pay. Make sure that hits my account, or I might just buy out your mortgage. Peterson's face went white as a sheet. He nodded frantically. Leo picked up his limited edition sneakers from the front desk. As he was about to leave, the system flashed one last message. Final preview. Go to the Ignite Innovation Hub tomorrow. A $1 billion contract is waiting for you. Remember to wear your new shoes. Leo let out a low whistle. This system wasn't just giving him a leg up. It was trying to launch him into the stratosphere. Stepping into the Ignite Innovation Hub in his new kicks, Leo was immediately stopped by the receptionist. The woman in the sharp business suit scanned him from head to toe. Do you have an appointment? We don't allow solicitors. The system chimed. Hidden mission. Get the receptionist to pour you a glass of the CEO's prized 1982 Chateau Lafite Rothschild. Reward. Exclusive use of the entire A-Wing office floor. Leo grinned. Before he could speak, a man in a slick suit with greasy hair hurried over. It was Mark Jenkins, the acquisitions manager. Just last month, Leo had interviewed here, and Jenkins was the one who'd tossed his resume in the trash, sneering, "We don't have time for nobodies with no connections and no capital." Jenkins recognized him. Well, if it isn't Leo Walsh. Still looking for a job? How'd you get past security? The receptionist quickly added, Mr. Jenkins, he doesn't have an appointment. An appointment? Leo pulled out his phone and displayed the $1 billion contract proposal the system had just sent him. He waved it in Jenkins's face. I'm here to sign a deal. Is your boss around? Jenkins glanced at the phone and burst out laughing. Is that a Photoshop job? You? A $1 billion contract? More like a $1 billion daydream. He reached out to slap the phone from Leo's hand, but Leo sidestepped him easily. The system pinged again. Urgent mission. Make Mark Jenkins call you Mr. Walsh. Reward. A direct line to 3 top venture capital firms. Okay then. Leo turned to the receptionist. Has your boss opened that 82 Lafite he's been saving? A signing like this requires a proper celebration. The receptionist paled. That bottle, Mr. Zhao keeps it locked in his safe. It's only for VIP clients. Oh. Leo opened his banking app and wired $1 million to the Hub's corporate account. A deposit. Am I VIP enough now? The notification chime echoed in the quiet lobby. The receptionist's pen nearly clattered to the floor. Jenkins stared at the transfer confirmation on Leo's screen, his eyes practically bugging out of his head. He counted the zeros 3 times. Yep, $1 million. Just then, the elevator doors opened and the Hub CEO, a man named Mr. Zhao, walked out. His face lit up when he saw Leo. Leo, you made it. My guy told me you were coming. Leo raised an eyebrow. So the big boss was in on this? Jenkins's legs went weak. He scrambled to produce a smile. Mr. Walsh. Sir, I am so sorry. I had no idea. Please forgive my rudeness. Ping. Mission complete. A-Wing floor secured. VC contacts have been sent to your phone. Leo ignored him and looked at the receptionist. That Lafayette. She scurried off to the safe. Mr. Zhao ushered Leo toward his office, whispering, "My friend, this system of yours. Think you could let me in on a little of that luck? My last round of funding just fell through." Before Leo could answer, his phone rang. It was Rick, the guy with the floral shirt. Leo put him on speaker. "Mr. Walsh, please, you gotta help me." Rick's voice was thick with tears. "Lily sold my watch to pay off her gambling debts. Could you possibly lend me some money?" Leo chuckled into the phone. "Oh, that fake Rolex of yours? Was even worth $5. A loud clatter came through the speaker, as if the phone had been dropped. Mr. Zhao was trying hard not to laugh. He was about to hand Leo a contract when the system began flashing frantically. Ultimate main quest. Secure the East Side development plot. Reward. Ownership of a national shopping mall chain. Countdown. 24 hours. Leo signed the document with a flourish. Over the sound of the pen scratching on paper, he looked up with a sly smile. "Mr. Zhao, that East Side plot. You know it well." Mr. Zhao's eyes widened. "You're going after that land? Son, that's the white whale of this city's real estate. Some very big fish are circling it." Leo tapped the freshly acquired keys to his new office floor against the desk. "Big fish," he said, letting out a low whistle. "Are any of them bigger than the system?" A soft hum resonated in his mind. "Don't get cocky, host. Your next mission is to read a story to a kindergarten class. Reward. Classified for now." Leo sighed. This system was seriously unhinged. But as he felt the weight of the phone in his pocket, he couldn't help but feel a thrill of anticipation. This story, he thought, was probably going to end with an IPO. Leo and Mr. Zhao were poring over blueprints when the office door slammed open. Mark Jenkins scurried in, followed by a portly man whose gold chain was thick enough to be used as a jump rope. It was the infamous Don the Shark Shapiro, the #1 competitor for the East Side plot. "So, Zhao, this is the mystery buyer you were telling me about?" Shapiro flopped onto the sofa, crossing his legs high. "I'm telling you, stay out of this. That land is mine. I just had drinks with the guys at the planning commission last night." Leo didn't even look up. The system pinged. "Side quest. Make Don Shapiro take off his gold chain and give it to you as a bracelet. Reward. $100 million for the auction deposit." $100 million? Leo chuckled, finally looking up at Shapiro. "That's a heavy-looking chain you've got there." Shapiro patted it proudly. "Solid gold. 10 pounds of it. You'll probably never see anything this nice again in your life." "Oh." Leo pulled out his phone and opened a notification showing a new $200 million wire transfer from one of his new VC contacts. "I'll give you $200 million for it, on the condition that I get to throw it in the trash." "Deal." Shapiro's smirk vanished, and his chain felt suddenly cold against his skin. Jenkins tried to smooth things over. "Mr. Shapiro, Mr. Walsh is a man of considerable means." "Means?" Shapiro shot to his feet, sloshing beer on his pants. "You think you can outbid me, kid? Do you have any idea who's backing me?" "Who? Your dad? Or the one you just adopted?" Leo popped a piece of gum in his mouth. Shapiro's face turned crimson. He whipped out his phone. "I'm going to make one call and end you." The system flashed. "Urgent challenge. Stop him from making that call. Reward. A full appraisal report of the land, including your rival's bottom line." Leo casually flicked a wad of gum across the room. It landed squarely on Shapiro's phone screen, a sticky, gooey mess. While Shapiro fumbled to peel it off, Leo opened the report the system had just sent him and raised an eyebrow at Zhao. "His max bid is $800 million. We'll offer $800,001." Zhao's eyes were like saucers. Can we do that? Why not?" Leo then shouted at Shapiro, "Hey, Shark, if you back out now, I'll throw in an extra $10 million. Enough to buy 10 more of those tacky chains." Shapiro finally got the gum off. He sneered, $800 million? I'll bid 900. $900,001, Leo said without missing a beat. $1 billion. Shapiro slammed his fist on the table, sending spittle flying. Leo calmly typed a number into the online auction portal on his phone, then held the screen up for Shapiro to see. $1,001,001. "And by the way, what was it you said about having drinks with the planning commission?" He tapped his phone, and a recording of Shapiro's earlier boast filled the room. "If I were to send this recording out, you think those friends of yours could save you?" The color drained from Shapiro's face. His hands trembled as he fumbled with the clasp on his gold chain. I'll take it off. Okay, I'll take it off." He shoved the heavy chain into Leo's hands. "The land, it's yours. I'm out." Ping. Double mission complete. $100 million deposit has been posted. Land acquisition confirmed. Leo hefted the chain, then wrapped it around his wrist like a clunky bracelet. Should have just done that from the start. Shapiro scurried away. Mark Jenkins started to sidle over, as if to compliment the new jewelry, but one glare from Leo sent him retreating. Mr. Zhao was rubbing his hands together, beaming. Mr. Walsh, that was a masterstroke. As he spoke, the system went wild. Congratulations on completing the ultimate main quest. National Shopping Mall chain ownership has been activated. New feature unlocked. System store. Leo opened the store. The first item was practically glowing. Newbie gift pack. Make any person perform an interpretive peacock dance. Reward. 1 private jet. His eyes gleamed. He turned to the still fawning Mark Jenkins. Mark, you know how to dance? Jenkins's face turned a shade of green. Mr. Walsh, I'm not really Oh well, Leo said, pulling out his phone. I'll just ask the shark. He seemed pretty lively earlier. Jenkins immediately stood ramrod straight. I can learn. I'll start practicing right now. Mr. Zhao nearly collapsed with laughter. Leo, feeling the weight of the gold on his wrist, suddenly remembered the system's hint about a kindergarten. A smirk played on his lips. This system wasn't just changing his life. It was turning it into a full-blown comedy. And somewhere, high above the city, a private jet with his name, freshly painted on the tail, was beginning its descent. Leo had just tossed the gold chain into a desk drawer when the system chimed urgently. Side quest. Go to Sunshine Academy and read The Tortoise and the Hare to the senior kindergarten class. Reward. Ownership of a national chain of family fun centers. Read a fairy tale? Leo raised an eyebrow at the empty room. With my voice, it'll sound more like a horror story. The system huffed. Additional condition. Get all the children to call you Leo. Reward will be doubled. Fine. For double, I'll do it. Leo grabbed his car keys. When he got to the private airfield, he saw Don Shapiro squatting beside his new jet, sobbing. Shapiro saw him and jumped up. Mr. Walsh, I've seen the light. I want to work for you. Please, just make me a security guard. Leo revved the engine of his sports car, leaving Shapiro in a cloud of exhaust. Learn the peacock dance first. At the preschool, the director, an elderly woman with spectacles, looked him over. You must be the special guest reader the system mentioned? Who else? Leo walked into the classroom and was immediately swarmed by a gaggle of small children, all staring up at him with wide eyes. A little girl with pigtails pointed at him. Mister, you have dirt on your shirt. Leo looked down and saw a smudge for where Shapiro had bumped into him. He was about to explain when the system flashed. Warning, the children dislike you. Reward will be halved. That's not dirt, Leo said, crouching down to their level, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. This is energy dust that Spider-Man left behind when he was fighting a monster. If you touch it, you'll grow taller. Their eyes went wide. Tiny hands reached out to touch his shirt. The girl with pigtails chirped, Leo, tell us a story. Ping. Leo objective achieved. Reward locked. He cleared his throat, but just as he was about to begin, the door flew open. A woman in a Chanel suit stood there with her hands on her hips. Director, is this the storyteller you hired? He's dressed like a street punk. I don't want him influencing my son. A chubby boy next to her immediately pouted. Mommy's right. He's not cool like my daddy. My daddy drives a BMW. Leo grinned. He winked at the boy. Your dad drives a BMW? Have you ever seen a BMW that can fly? He pulled out his phone and showed them a picture of his private jet. My BMW can fly into space and catch stars for you. Want to go see it? The boy's eyes were like saucers. He tugged on his mother's sleeve. Mommy, I want to ride the plane. I want a star. The woman's face flushed. You're bluffing. The system pinged. Hidden challenge. Make this woman apologize. Reward. The deed to the empty lot next to the preschool. Perfect for expansion. Leo dangled the keys to his limited edition Rolls-Royce. I'm taking the kids to see the plane right now. If you don't apologize, your son can't come. The little boy burst into tears, hugging Leo's leg. Leo, my mommy is mean. I don't want her anymore. The woman, flustered, finally mumbled, I'm sorry. Ping. Challenge complete. Land deed acquired. Leo smiled and ruffled the boy's hair, then began his story. When the rabbit fell asleep, he let out a series of comical, snorting snores that had the children rolling on the floor with laughter. When the tortoise won, he took off his own luxury watch and fastened it around the wrist of the boy playing the tortoise. The champion's medal. When school was over, the children lined up to wave goodbye. The little girl with pigtails pressed a piece of candy into his hand. Leo, will you come back tomorrow? He was about to say yes when his phone rang. It was his aunt. Her voice was syrupy sweet. Leo, dear, I heard you've made it big. You see, your cousin is getting married, and I was wondering if you could. He hung up and popped the candy into his mouth. It was sweet. The system lit up his vision. Congratulations. You've unlocked the National Big Brother title. Next stop, the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Mission: make A-list celebrity Jax Ryder your personal assistant. Leo chewed on the candy and rubbed his chin. An A-list assistant? This system, he thought, was determined to turn his life into the ultimate blockbuster. The moment Leo stepped backstage at the Dolby Theater, he was surrounded by security. A man with a clipboard and a high-pitched voice screeched, "Who are you? You can't just barge into Mr. Ryder's dressing room." "Jax Ryder." Leo cleaned out an ear as the system's notification appeared. Main quest: make A-list celebrity Jax Ryder your personal assistant for 1 day. Reward: 51% controlling interest in Starfire Pictures. Perfect. He's the one I'm looking for. Leo pushed past the guards and walked straight into the room. A man with flawless makeup was sitting on the sofa, fussing with his hair in the mirror. It was Jax Ryder, the biggest star on the planet. He didn't even glance at Leo. "Fan, get an autograph and get out. I have to rehearse." His agent rushed in. "Security, get this lunatic out of here." Leo didn't move. He just held up his phone. "Your new movie, Cosmic Fall. The funding just fell through, right? The investors called me. They're pulling out unless they get an immediate cash infusion." Jax's hands froze. His reflection in the mirror turned icy. "What's your point?" "My point is," Leo said, plopping down on the sofa and crossing his legs, "I'll invest $300 million. All you have to do is be my assistant for a day. Deal." The agent shrieked. "$300 million? Do you have any idea what you're saying? A punk like you." Leo simply opened his banking app and wired a $100 million deposit to the film's production company. The transfer notification chimed loudly in the silent room. Jax whipped his head around, his eyes wide with shock. The system decided to add a little flair. Bonus objective: make Jax Ryder's fans call you the boss. Reward: complete erasure of all of Jax's negative press, including the ironclad proof of his secret marriage and child. "That's not all," Leo said, nodding toward the door where a crowd of Jax's fans were peeking in, holding signs that read "JX is King." Leo stood up and addressed them. "I'm buying out tonight's entire show. Everyone here gets 10 free autograph photos. On one condition: you call me the boss." The fans stared for a second, then erupted in a deafening chant. "Boss! Boss! Boss!" Jax's face went pale. His agent sputtered. "Even if you have money, you can't order Mr. Ryder around. He's an icon." "An icon?" Leo tossed a file onto the coffee table. It was a paternity test confirming Jax's secret child. "If this gets out, how long do you think he'll stay on top?" Jax's face was ashen. He snatched the file and tore it to shreds, hissing through clenched teeth. "1 day. And you don't get to ask for anything unreasonable." Ping. Mission accomplished. Starfire Pictures shares have been transferred. All negative press has been scrubbed from the internet. "Don't worry, it's easy." Leo pointed to the trash can. "Start by picking up that piece of gum I just threw out." Jax's fists clenched. Outside, his fans were chanting, "The boss is king." Finally, he bent down, pinched his nose, and picked up the gum. The agent looked like he was about to faint. Just then, Jax's biggest rival, a B-list actor named Cody Vance, strolled in with a vapid influencer on his arm. Well, Jax, is this your new janitor? He looks a little young." Leo raised an eyebrow. The system pinged. Side quest: make Cody Vance apologize to Jax Ryder. Reward: a Best Actor nomination at the next Academy Awards for Jax. "Cody Vance, is it?" Leo pulled out his phone and played a short video. Crystal clear audio of Cody bribing an awards show judge. "You have 2 choices. Bow and apologize to Jax, or this video is the #1 trending topic tomorrow morning." Cody's face turned green. He immediately bent into a deep bow. "Mr. Ryder, I am so sorry. I was completely out of line." Jax just stood there, staring at Leo with a look that had shifted from disgust to something far more complicated. Leo clapped him on the shoulder. "Come on, assistant. First, you can give me an iced latte. Light ice, 3 pumps vanilla." Jax followed him out, gritting his teeth. His fans swarmed them, screaming even louder. "Boss, take Jax for a latte." Leo waved to the crowd as the system went supernova. Unlocked. Global map. Hollywood. Next mission: make Oscar-winning actress Sophia DuBois hand you the microphone. He grinned at Jax. "Ever thought about Hollywood? Stick with me, kid. Next year, you'll be holding an Oscar." Jax stopped in his tracks. For the first time, watching Leo walk away, he thought that maybe being his assistant wasn't such a bad deal after all. Leo, with Jax in tow, had just made it backstage at the awards ceremony when a woman with blonde hair and piercing blue eyes blocked their path. She wore a couture gown and an Oscar pin, identifying her as Sophia Dubois, the night's Best Actress winner. The director beside her frowned at Leo. Are you from the East? Do you have a press pass? Nope, Leo said, chewing his gum. The system appeared. Main quest. Make Sophia Dubois personally hand you a microphone. Reward. 30% ownership of Universal Pictures. Sophia let out a derisive laugh. In accented English, she said, "This is a temple of cinema, not a playground." She waved a dismissive hand at her assistant. "Please escort him out." Jax tugged on Leo's sleeve. "Maybe we should go? She's a huge deal in Hollywood." "A huge deal?" Leo pulled out his phone and opened a script outline. "The sequel to Stellar Rim. That sci-fi epic you've been dying to get your hands on? The studio just transferred the rights to me." He held the phone up for Sophia to see. "You said this script was your dream project, right? I'll fund it with a $1 billion budget. You could be the star. The only condition is you hand me that microphone. Right now." Sophia's blue eyes widened. She snatched the phone and scrolled through the outline, her breathing quickening. You really own the rights. What do you think?" Leo pointed at the interview podium. "Are you handing it over or not? Jennifer Lawrence just texted me. She's interested too." Sophia bit her lip, then snapped at her assistant. "Give me the microphone." She took it herself and, with both hands, presented it to Leo. Her voice was stiff. "Sir, for you. Ping. Mission complete. Universal Pictures shares have been transferred." Leo took the mic and grinned at a nearby camera. "Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement. My company, Starfire Pictures, will be co-producing Stellar Rim with Universal. The female lead will be Sophia Dubois. The male lead," he clapped Jax on the shoulder, "will be my associate right here, Jax Ryder." Jax's jaw dropped. The entire press corps exploded. Flashbulbs went off like a thunderstorm. Sophia's assistant stood with his mouth agape, while her director spilled coffee all over himself. In the chaos, a portly man pushed through the crowd. It was George Croft, the former president of Universal who had just been mocking Leo as a nouveau riche tourist. Now he was holding out a business card, his face plastered with a desperate smile. "Mr. Walsh, I was a fool. Please, let's partner. Let's make magic." Leo ignored the card and looked at Sophia. "Where's my assistant? Jax, go give me a Coke." Just as Jax was about to move, the system went ballistic. Ultimate hidden mission. Make George Croft shine Jax Ryder's shoes. Reward. A star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for Jax. Leo pointed to Jax's sneakers. "Mr. Croft, my assistant's shoes are dirty. If you can make them shine, the lead producer role on Stellar Rim is yours." George's face went slack. He looked from Jax's slightly dusty shoes to the billion-dollar script in Sophia's hands, then dropped to his knees. He pulled a silk handkerchief from his pocket and started scrubbing furiously. "I'll make them gleam. I swear it." Jax flinched back in shock, but Leo put a steadying hand on his shoulder and gave a peace sign to the cameras. Sophia looked on, completely bewildered. The camera flashes were blinding. Leo spoke into the microphone. "By the way, who was it that said this was a temple and not a playground?" He gestured around the Grand Theater. "From now on, if I say it's a playground, it's a playground. In fact, I'm buying out the place. All movie screenings tonight are free for everyone." A moment of stunned silence was followed by a deafening roar of applause. Sophia clutched her forehead, trying to process the surreal turn of events. Jax looked down at his brilliantly polished shoes and, for the first time that night, genuinely smiled. "Boss," he whispered, "can you get me one of those systems?" Before Leo could reply, a new notification filled his vision. "Congratulations. Global mode unlocked. Next stop, outer space. Mission. Have an astronaut bring you back a moon rock." Leo chewed his gum, a slow grin spreading across his face. He looked at Jax. "How would you like to shoot a movie on the moon? I think the ending of Stellar Rim would look great with a real lunar backdrop." On the giant screen behind them, the official notice of his new stake in Universal Pictures was being displayed. Below, George Croft was still on his knees, giving Jax's shoes a final buff. The California sun streamed through the theater windows. The system, Leo thought, was getting more interesting by the minute. Months later, Leo stood on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, watching as Jax Ryder's name was set into a star. The system's voice, now soft and familiar, yawned in his mind. "Host, the main quests are pretty much done. Consider the rest. Bonus content. Bonus content." Leo was holding the moon rock, a gift from a recent NASA mission he'd privately funded. It was still cold to the touch. "Like what?" A screen flickered in his vision. "Daily task. Wire your aunt $5,000. Her son is in deep with loan sharks again. Reward. She will weep and thank you profusely. Leo smirked and sent 50,000 instead. Half an hour later, his aunt and cousin were at the base of his corporate skyscraper, crying with gratitude. He didn't let them grovel. He just handed his cousin a payment plan. Pay your own debts. And don't mess up again. I own this building. I can have you sleeping on the street. His cousin nodded vigorously. His aunt, surprisingly, took a janitorial job at one of his malls and became the most diligent employee they had. Another 6 months passed. At the premiere of Stellar Rim, Jax Ryder accepted his Oscar for Best Actor. I want to thank my boss, Leo Walsh, he said, his voice thick with emotion. Without him, none of this would be possible. In the audience, Leo was fending off Sophia's enthusiastic pitches for a new script when his phone vibrated. It was an anonymous text with a photo of his ex, Lily, working a hot dog stand, shivering in the cold. The system popped up. Optional quest. Help her get a small storefront. Reward. She will say, I'm sorry, with tears in her eyes. Leo wired her $20,000 and deleted the message. He didn't need the apology. One evening, he was sitting in one of his family fun centers, watching kids chase fireflies on the lawn. He was holding a piece of candy, a gift from the little girl with pigtails at the preschool. She was in elementary school now, but she still called him Leo. The system's voice was gentle. I'm not really a system. Leo raised an eyebrow. I am a protective charm your grandmother prayed for. The voice continued, sounding just like her. She was worried you'd suffer, but she was also worried you were too stubborn. This was her way of giving you a push and teaching you how to care for people along the way. Leo squeezed the candy in his hand. A slow smile spread across his face, and his eyes felt warm. In the distance, his father walked toward him, carrying a container. Inside was homemade apple crumble, his late mother's favorite dessert. His dad had learned to make it after she passed, always saying it was missing something. Time for dessert, his father said, his voice soft. The gray at his temples had spread. Leo took a piece. The sweetness of the apples and the warmth of the cinnamon mixed together on his tongue, and for a moment, it tasted exactly like his grandmother's. The system chimed one last time, displaying a final line of text in the fading light. Ultimate reward, a life worth living. A cool evening breeze rustled the leaves. In the distance, the lights of his malls glowed, and he could hear the faint sound of children singing from the nearby school. Everything was warm. He took another bite of the apple crumble. Yeah, he thought, it was worth it.